going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Three Wide Podcast. I'm here with
the Ferrari man.
yes, sir. Unfortunately, Marco couldn't be with us today, but we have the Ferrari man today, and honestly, it's probably the best day we could have had the Ferrari man, as we'll get to the reason why later. But let's just jump right into the three F1 liveries I really want to talk about. I'll be honest.
Wait, aren't you gonna announce the special guest?
Who?
Aren't you gonna announce the special guest?
Who's the special guest?
Burger.
Oh, jeez.
Gerhard Berger. He's a special guest in today's show. Let's welcome in Gerhard Berger, everybody.
Do you guys understand what I have to put up with, like, on a daily basis talking to this?
Yo.
I'm not gonna lie, I have absolutely no desire to talk about AlphaTauri. I couldn't give less of a shit, I'm gonna be honest, so I'm just gonna skip right over
What's
it.
AlphaTauri? What's AlphaTauri?
The car, honestly, is probably the one of the worst, in my opinion, one of the worst livery, looking cars on the grid so far, so we're gonna skip right over it, but...
I want to search up their team principal. Hold on a second. I want to search up. They even have a team principal.
Franz Tost, no?
Who?
Franz Tost.
French toast. French toast in that. Damn.
You're crazy.
Former racing driver.
Yeah. Anyway.
Former racing driver.
We're gonna start with Aston Martin. Actually, we're gonna start with Aston Martin because the other two teams I want to talk about are two of our favorite teams. So let's get the least of our worries out the way, being Aston Martin. Known as the Green Bull last year after their, almost copycat identity of Red Bull. And
they were trying something new, man. They were trying something new.
No, they weren't. This wasn't the first time that Lawrence Stroll absolutely copied a car, cough, cough, Mercedes in 2019. Aston Martin looks not too drastically different. However, it's gone to a more bluish green, I'm pretty sure. Like, the green's a lot more on the vibrant blue side. It's not as, dark green anymore. It's more like a gradient green, if that makes sense.
It's... I gotta pull that up. Aston Martin 2023... F1 livery.
If you compare it to the 2022 livery, it's a little bit more vibrant green and more on the blue side of things. If you have a side by side with the 2022 Corsa C, but anyway.
Yeah, I actually in the middle of the thing, I never actually saw the blue. I kind of like the blue.
Yeah.
I
Anyway,
like the blue. Not even gonna lie.
The number one thing about Aston Martin is their technical director by the name of Dan Fallows. This is important because he worked at Red Bull for a long, long time. And
really?
He's been at Aston Martin for a while, but now this is the first time he had almost complete control over the technical, directions of the Formula One company. And now, how much Aston Martin were in love with Red Bull last year. Now that they got a technical director who worked within the dominance of the Red Bull team for the last couple of years, they can make some serious changes, where he's actually come out and said that the car is 95% different from last year, which is, I think, pretty interesting. I have here that they changed a lot on the front wing and hope to improve the working of the tires and increase the washout function and hopefully eliminate as much understeer as possible. The Aston Martin, obviously, last year was a car that didn't start off that well and had a pretty decent driver lineup. However, towards the end of the season, it started to perform pretty well. It started to make some Q3 appearances and finish within the points. And I think with an aggressive car that we see here, with the shape of the nose being a really big change from last year,
Anthony Nose.
It's looking pretty aggressive, and I think, Aston Martin have a real challenge on their hands, again, with the new leadership that is Dan Fallows. I like it. I like Aston Martin. I like their chances to fight in the midfield, especially with the downplaying of ability that McLaren have showed in their reveal, which we'll get to in a little bit. I think Aston Martin have one of the best chances to come up and join the midfield fight at the top of the midfield, like the Alpines and the McLarens of the world, rather than sink lower than they are. This is due to having, in my opinion, an upgrade in Sebastian Vettel and Fernando Alonso, just because I know Alonso, like, he's only thinking about racing. You know what I mean? Like, Vettel has really thought about his afterlife in Formula One and wanted to start a different chapter, when Fernando's really, really still involved within Formula One and has shown his quality at Alpine many times these last 2 seasons. So, yeah, I really like the Aston Martin. I think they have a pretty high, not drastically high expectations, because their wind tunnel and factory won't be built and put into effect, I believe, by May 2024, or maybe May this year, but won't go into effect until 2024. So don't expect too much. Don't expect too much improvement drastically this season, but expect some big strides. As I said before, technical director did say the car is 95% different, so do expect some sort of, differentiation between the 2 seasons. Anything to add on Aston Martin?
I mean, I guess the current trend is that I feel that most of the cars are going to look very similar.
Copy the homework, right? Copy what works.
Yeah. Yeah. And you could see by the vents, the positioning of the wheels, especially the front wheels, spacing,
side pods a little bit,
floorboards, side pods, especially the intake. I forgot that's near the drivers.
The inlets, the inlets.
Yeah, the inlets, all looking like Ferrari or Red Bull variants. Mostly, I think the more British associated teams are going to go for the Red Bull look, and I think the more Italian styles are going to go for the Ferrari look. Yeah. So yeah, not much else I could say. I kind of like the livery. They added a spice it up with a bit of blue, not too much green. Perfectly balanced blacks, I think, and green and blue and like the yellowish. So I think it looks nice. I did see Alonso's haircut, and let me tell you why that's gonna be something big. My man's looking fresh, clean. He is ready to take home a double season.
I'll show you the fade real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, go to Alonso's barber, bro. Go to Alonso's barber. He'll hook you up nice, smooth.
Yeah. Anyways,
anyway,
let's get.
Nothing much else to add.
Yeah.
It looks pretty good, and I think they're going to be actually genuinely competitive this time. So please be competitive.
Well, on the topic of genuinely competitive, let's move over to McLaren really quick.
No. You might want to move off of McLaren because that's not looking competitive this year, mate.
Okay, I understand why. So let's get into the reveal. The vibe. I watched the whole live stream. Vicstar announced the car. Big ups for Vicstar for that one. However,
who's Vicstar?
We're gonna move past that. Anyway, both drivers, Lando and Piastri, and Andrea Stella and Zach Brown, seeming very, very on the more realistic and pessimistic side of things. Where some people think they're downplaying their car. However, it just might be completely off the pace for these first couple of races. And even by the livery, it's not as papaya as it was last year, in my opinion. There's a lot more black on the car, meaning a lot less paint, meaning a lot more weight reduction to, get as much tension as possible, add as much pace to the car as possible. So with McLaren, their new wind tunnel will not be in use until 2024, so they really don't have the
what?
The wind tunnel, like their new, like their state-of-the-art wind tunnel, and I believe parts of the factory aren't done yet. They'll be done by 2024.
They can go fuck off with that. They can go fuck off with that.
So
It's plonkers, man.
Again,
Fucking plonkers.
what people have been saying, I'm sorry, what McLaren were saying in the live stream was that do not expect big changes, especially early on in the season. There could be some upgrades and
terrible.
more rolling upgrade structure around race 4, which is I believe Azerbaijan. However, again, like McLaren expects to be similar, if not worse, than where they were last year, come the end of the season, which is kind of disappointing.
Oh my god, those fucking plonkers, man. They need to pack their shit and go home, mate. Bro, they have no performance increases, which is what you want to tell me is that they have no performance increases?
That's, I mean...
Fucking plonkers,
they're
bro.
saying...
Fucking plonkers, man. They need to go home. They should just go home. They need to go to the garage and see the conditions. Because they cannot go out like this. They cannot go out like this, mate.
I know,
They cannot go out like this. They're going to look like a bunch of Mikeys.
It's sad.
They already look like a bunch of Mikeys.
I mean, we'll see. How many times have Mercedes in the past played, like during mainly testing, how many times have they played down the pace of their car and then turned it on? I'm not saying I expect that with McLaren, but...
Okay. Mercedes playing down is a tactical move.
I know.
McLaren, they're telling the truth. That shit ain't no tactical move, mate. That shit ain't no tactical move.
Who knows, but I mean...
This might trigger Norris, though, because if I was Norris, I'd be pissed as hell. That car's still not fixed.
Again, I just told you recently, this is his fifth season in Formula 1. You know, like, he's still young, but he's not getting younger, you know what I mean? Like, he's going to want to start competing for wins, you know, consistently now. Or, I'm sorry, he wanted to do that yesterday, you know what I mean? Like, the time's going, the clock is ticking for McLaren to give him a good car. And I believe if he don't contend this season, he could walk out the door next season because who wouldn't want to pay? I know he's in contract till like 2025, but who wouldn't want to buy out Lando Norris? He's probably one of the most talented drivers on the grid.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
If not the most talented driver on the grid. So
I know. He's right up there with Leclerc and Verstappen, in my opinion. Again, like who was the only other surprise podium last season besides the Red Bull, Mercedes, or Ferrari? It was Lando Norris. That's it. Look what he did compared to his teammate. McLaren should not have been 5th in the constructors. If they had another driver besides Lando Norris, who wasn't Verstappen, Russell, Sainz, etc., they would not be 5th in the constructors. That car was dreadful.
Would not be anywhere in the constructors.
That car
dreadful, mate. I think a shopping car looks more aerodynamic than that fucking car, mate.
But yeah,
for being honest,
the main thing McLaren I believe struggled with was like understeer in corner entry. So now they're really working on better feed of airflow to the floor of the car to help with stability, which is what I learned. Hopefully that plays a part in some sort of help with the porpoising, because they did struggle with that as well, as really all Mercedes powered-ish cars dealt with. But yeah, they were completely pessimistic in my opinion, and just really realist about their expectations for the year. They were like, do not expect anything too big from us. They kept kept repeating how their facilities weren't optimal because their wind tunnel isn't done, and it's really going to be 2024 until they really start to develop a really fast race car. I mean, we'll see what happens, but I'm not too optimistic about this season. And if anything, I'm a little bit concerned because I know the driver talent we have on hand. I'm not really worried about Piastri leaving because he's only a rookie. But Norris, I mean, who wouldn't want to buy that man out, Who wouldn't? For example,
McLaren has no more drivers left for 2024. Yo, that shit would be funny as hell. McLaren not having any drivers.
Say, for example, Lewis Hamilton wins his 8th World Championship this season and says, that's it, I'm done. Mercedes, you think Mercedes wouldn't want to sign Lando Norris? It's a possibility.
First pick.
You don't think maybe Ferrari might prefer Norris to Sainz?
Hey. Yo,
to team with Leclerc. To team with Leclerc. No, to team with Leclerc.
That's cap. I don't think they would do that.
Maybe you don't think Red Bull would sign Norris over Checo?
It'll most likely be Merck and Red Bull fighting it out for him.
But yeah,
Ferrari right now is in a very good
McLaren
position.
were not really
They're not
happy
gonna
with
touch.
their launch product. They were not really happy with their car. I mean, they were happy obviously, but they could have been happier. And yeah, man, I'm not optimistic one bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think we might struggle compared to last season. We might feel ourselves battling with the likes of like a Haas, for example, rather than the likes of like Ferrari, which I believe at this stage of our development we should be doing. But
Mm.
yeah, man,
Instead of look like a bunch of fucking wankers, you know.
yeah. I was actually watching
We should be
Drive to
looking like a
Survive,
bunch of rock
and
stars.
yeah, we look pretty bad right now, but especially with
Yeah.
how much development has been going on this season, with the likes of Alfa Romeo starting their Audi process, Haas working at full capacity in terms of financial value. You have Williams starting a really big long-term project. Aston Martin presumably getting their pieces together. You have the French Revolution going on in Alpine. So much is at stake, and you
We'll
really
see
have.
that. We'll see that in 2 days.
Um,
We're gonna see that in 2 days. The French Revolution, you know.
we're gonna get to what we're gonna see tomorrow, though. But before that,
Oh,
Ferrari man, take it away. This is really what we want to talk about.
so take it away from here, mate.
Let me intro it by saying
Alrighty.
this is the best F1 launch ever.
Yeah, I think best F1 launch ever because I have not seen anybody else do any track testing with their real 2023 version car. Because let's be honest, Red Bull fucked that. Who else? AlphaTauri fucked with that. I think most of them just didn't even do that.
Haas
Ferrari
and
literally.
AlphaTauri hit the track, but not on their launch day.
Well, yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Ferrari did it on
Although
their launch day.
I've actually heard of Red Bull. Red Bull also rumored to be
They
on the
did.
Silver
Did you
track
see that
testing.
the little people of Verstappen going by?
Yeah, I did.
But take it away.
So, so here's what I have to say to that. Honestly, I was expecting a little bit more yellow or a little bit more. I really wanted to see yellow. I'm not gonna lie. I wish they had like a red and yellowish like livery. I honestly
Pure
would sack a
Ferrari.
little bit of black for the yellow, but that's just me. But anyway,
Weight
still.
saving, weight saving.
They made major changes, and did you notice how they brought back the spikes on the things?
Mm-hmm.
That was deemed illegal
I
in
know,
2022,
yeah.
but they
I think
fixed
because
it because they made it.
Mercedes
They
brought
molded
that
it.
to Miami, I believe, or some U.S.
Yes,
race.
and that
yeah.
helped with extra pace. So then
Yeah.
FIA for some reason banned it, which was
And now it's
retarded.
back.
But okay, now it's back. But Ferrari did it legally
Mhm.
by the book on the FIA. So yeah, minor changes but important changes. Reliability plus performance, and the drivers are confident. And the track, it did look a bit like they were porpoising, but bro, that shit was grippy as hell. I ain't never seen anything that grippy since.
I mean, he wasn't really
2020.
going full throttle,
Okay, but still, that thing was hella grippy, mate. That thing was still hella grippy. Did you see on those tight
We can't
apexes?
really
He was
judge
still
that. We can't really judge
Okay,
grippiness.
but it looked grippy. It looked grippy. That thing looked
The
grippy.
car
I
looked
feel like
good.
that thing's
The
gonna be
car
like a
looked
demon.
good. Like just
Car
on the
looked
eye,
really good.
appearance-wise, it
Car
looked
looked really good. You already know we repping the best in the biz. You already know, bro. Car looked really good. Even Gerhard Berger said the same thing, mate. Car looked amazing. Amazing.
It did look really good. It did look really good.
So the performance is there.
Did you
I
see
hope
the old Ferrari
reliability
logo on
is
the
there.
rear wing? I love that. I'm a big
I
fan
did.
of that. I'm a
I
big
did.
fan of that.
I did. Good shit. Good shit. I'm just worried that the stickers won't get in the way of any of the performance issues, but I
Also,
love
I'm
that.
pretty sure Ferrari maximized the gap. You know how there's a front wing, right? But there's different levels of the front wing. Ferrari didn't maximize the gap between the different levels last year, and I'm pretty sure this year they did maximize that level so I can create more airflow.
They did.
They moved the radiator up a little bit to help feed the inlet some more air and help with aerodynamic stability as well. Again, like you said, there's a lot more black on the car than maybe fans would have liked. However, everyone's doing that for weight saving reasons because there is a weight requirement, and you want to get as less weight as possible to go as fast as you can. Blah 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 blah. And Ferrari's main thing was to maximize outwash. of the car. But Frederick Vasseur, I saw on a podcast about the race, said his number one thing was to focus on reliability, which, when considering the strategic blunders of Ferrari, which maybe they're going to eliminate now, hopefully.
Those frogs, man, those frogs.
From Sainz, burning out from P2 in Austria to Leclerc's many reliability failures. Definitely number one because, the Ferrari engine at capacity was a very, very strong engine. It just didn't really get the chance to show itself most of the year due to A, reliability, and B, strategic failures with a little bit of driver errors here and there. However, it's looking pretty good. I know the Frederick Vasseur said on the dyno test the engine looks optimal, which is a very good sign.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
we're looking very strong.
For me, this is the launch that really made me realize F1's coming back. To see a car on track on launch day was really nice to see. Very, very nice to see. And that Ferrari red looking better than ever. I'm not gonna lie, looking really good.
Mm-hmm.
However, tomorrow at around 4:15, I don't know if it's AM or PM. Gonna be completely honest.
It's AM. They did the same in the morning. I had to get up stupid early just to get the freaking.
We're gonna see the W14. Now
the Merc.
I have a little bit of a prediction. I've been seeing a little bit too much teal / light blue / Petronas blue on the Mercedes account. I feel like there's going to be a lot of light blue on the car.
They're green. It's like sort of green.
Yeah. I think it's like Petronas green, whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be a lot of that. I think it's either
black and green, please. Black and green. Black and green, please. Black and green.
Oh, I want the black Mercedes again, man. Bro,
can we get a black and green? Black and green, please, Mikey, please. Black and green.
We're definitely gonna talk heavily on Thursday's episode about the Mercedes reveal. However, we could have some predictions. Do you think they're gonna go on track as well? What do you think? Because with all the attention.
They're not gonna pull off what Ferrari did. I promise you that. But I think that they're definitely gonna. I think the reveal alone is going to do itself justice because I don't think that they're going to go on track.
Who knows,
but
man?
It is the Merc, the mighty Merc.
So the usual mighty Merc,
No, this time it's going to be the mighty Merc. They're going to have to bring it the mighty Merc.
I think they're going to be back.
They can't just
They did say though recently that don't expect them to be right on the pace for the first couple of races, which fair enough. They still have a lot of it's a lot of work to.
Yeah, but everybody says that. You know how it is.
But no, you have to say
they got the batarangs. You know how it is.
But they might have to really fight to get back to where they were because of how off the pace they were last season. It's going to take an extra amount of time to really get them up to pace and up to speed for the whole season. However, if they learned anything from last season, is that they were on the right track come Brazil and come Abu Dhabi because they were fast those weekends.
Mm-hmm.
Even Mexico. The only reason why they didn't win out in Mexico was for a strategic blunder when they went on the hards instead of the softs. So, I think Merc is back, man. I really want to see it blacked out. But I do think there's going to be a lot of Petronas green on that car to where it might not be a silver arrow. It could be a green arrow. Could be.
Green arrow.
No,
it's gonna be a black and green arrow. Black and green, please. Black and green. Black and green.
I mean, that car looks sick. But
El Plan. What about El Plan? Tell me about El Plan.
The thing about El Plan is that I don't know what El Plan is. It's part of the plan. Or whatever you said.
Nah, but I think that what about the Napoleonic Wars, though? That I'm pretty curious to see.
The Alpine? I mean,
the bluish pink is a very lovely color combo.
I honestly think it's gonna be the same thing as last year. I'm not gonna lie.
Maybe.
I think it's gonna be pretty similar to last year. Maybe some more French, like more red, white, and blue, because obviously everyone in that team is French now. Could be. But I expect the team as a whole to experience some toxicity. I think Pierre and Ocon might get up to a very shaky start, even shakier to points of when Alonso and Ocon were shaky.
Okay, I think you have to leave a space. All the time you have to leave a space.
Thanks for a little friend.
Okay?
A little friend.
Little friend.
But yeah. So
You
yeah,
have a big friend now.
bit of a shorter episode today, guys, because there's not really much to discuss besides the liveries that came out. Stay tuned for Thursday where we go deep down into the Mercedes reveal as well as Alpine, of course, and start to give some predictions on the upcoming season. Drive to Survive, I believe, comes out in about a week and a half's time. First race is in around 3 weeks. I mean, it's looking good,
I can give you a
man.
prediction. I can give you a prediction right now.
There we
Leclerc 2023, Leclerc
we knew
2024,
that.
Leclerc 2025, Leclerc
I get his stick
2026.
out your mouth, respectfully. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy this episode. And yeah, take care and peace, everybody. Have a good one.